This video is not intended to make you love the sequel trilogy or make Rey Palpatine your favorite character of all time. I don't love the sequels, and I think by this time almost everyone would agree that they aren't great films. With that said, hopefully I can convince you to at least accept the films for what they are and help bring you out of your hatred. Remember, hate leads to suffering. Let's remember the most important line in all of Star Wars. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. This single, simple tagline sets the context for the entire Star Wars franchise. The stories we love are a part of history, our history. Back before the Romans and the ancient Egyptians, somewhere in some distant galaxy on the other edge of existence, there was the Republic, the Jedi, the Sith, the Rebels, and everything else we know of Star Wars. We can treat those stories like they actually happened. With this in mind, we can conceptualize the films, comics, games, and books not as the events themselves, but merely as representations of those historical events. When we watch Saving Private Ryan, we are not watching World War II literally before us. We are watching a representation of those events. There can, of course, be varying degrees of accuracy, creative license, and even bad directorial decisions or poor acting. This doesn't change the events themselves, but only how we are able to perceive them. This idea smooths out a lot of wrinkles in the Star Wars continuity. Why was the lightsaber duel between Old Ben and Vader so underwhelming? Because that was what the actors and directors were capable of at that time. Why are the most recent shows watchable in 4K? Because that's how we currently watch shows. Why might there be differences between the events in books versus screen form? Because the storytellers choose different ways to retell that history. Star Wars is modern-day mythology. We are no longer sitting around the campfires listening to the elders give their retelling of traditions from ages ago. We sit around screens watching the visions of a few individuals brought to life via millions of dollars. So how does this apply to the sequels? Think of the world of Star Wars, the setting, endless stories that can be told. With the world of Star Wars being the central focus, a bad product is simply a poor visualization of the world rather than a corruption of the world itself. Think of it as a very dirty and scratched up window. The beauty and scenery is still beyond it, but your viewing experience might not be as enjoyable. I will never love the sequels. I may rewatch them in the future, though I don't feel I need to, but I don't hate them anymore. They are what they are. Cheesy storytelling, weird decisions, and a whole lot of why would you do that? But there is just enough of that Star Wars magic buried deep underneath the piles of unnecessary junk for me to catch a glimpse into that world. I accept them, not as good films or even into my headcanon, but I do accept them for what they are, and I hope now that you can as well.